Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dan, and I'm here with this gigantic box of Lego that is building out the Apollo Saturn V rocket. That's this rocket right here that took astronauts to the moon in 1969 as part of the Apollo 11 mission. It was our first successful attempt at taking man to the moon, and that's 50 years from now in 2019, so it's a big deal coming up. What else is a cool big deal is NASA recently announced that they're going back to the moon. So space is really cool right now, and going to the moon is something that is really neat, especially because there's other countries that are going to the moon all the time. So there's a lot of interest around space and the moon and moon exploration right now, and it's really cool that Lego has put out a kit that helps you build the Saturn V rocket. And what's neat about this is if you look around the box, it shows you how you're going to be building this in stages. So I thought what would be really cool is, as we build this out, why don't we try to create a learning experience around space and the Saturn V rocket and going to the moon, so that whoever's building this can learn a little bit more about those things. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an augmented reality solution. Lego already has an app that does augmented reality. Basically what you do is you download the app, you find some place on your floor, and you can augment kits that they have into your reality to see how those kits can be played with and come to life, so to speak. And what we're going to do is slightly different, but based on that premise. Essentially, as we build out this kit in certain stages of the rocket being built, we're going to pause and create a way that you can take your phone and scan what you've built and learn a little bit more about the moon landing and what this whole experience was like. And so to help with that, I've got the flight manual of this. I've got a notebook in case we want to worry about taking notes or figure out what we might want to code into this experience. And then we're going to use a phone and an app to help us create an augmented reality experience during this rocket launch. So I'm pretty excited. I don't know how this is going to go, but I do think that it's neat that they're trying to educate you on this, not just give you a kit to build. And for me, that all started when I bought it, where it said 1969 pieces. If you're familiar, that is the year that this mission happened. So already they're kind of giving you some Easter eggs to teach you some more stuff, and that's exactly what we're going to try to do as well. It says 14 years. We're going to try to do this in a couple hours, so I'm going to use some magic, speed up the camera every now and then, but pause and take a moment to teach you guys how to go about building out some kind of cool augmented reality solution. So let's get to it. Okay, so what I'm already noticing is pretty cool is, like, included in this is some kind of, it's the instructions to build this, right? But it looks kind of like this flight manual already. So like, I'm kind of impressed. Like, already they're kind of following the NASA guidelines here. What would be cool is, like, if at certain points in time, like, instead of just it being instructions and where it goes, if after you finished a stage, it also had some kind of information in here about the mission. So that's essentially what we're going to try to accomplish. Oh, that is cool. Oh, okay. So at the beginning, there is some information about the Apollo program. And this is exactly the kind of stuff I wanted to include and wanted to see. So this is super cool. So they're kind of teaching you a little bit about this, but it is, as I'm noticing, like, some really neat infographics. But not so much like interactive. It's all just reading. And then it comes in different languages, which is really important for accessibility and, you know, additional audiences. So like, good. I'm glad there is some learning material included in this. Hey guys, how's it going? We just finished doing steps 1 through 5 of this bad boy, and what that equates to is we've done the 5 F1 rockets at the bottom and the S1C module part of the rocket. So that's what this is right here. And there's some incredible attention to detail in this, which I'm not surprised by Lego at all. As you're building it, you're seeing how the rockets engage and can deploy and things like that. It's pretty neat. So after you've built this, you're kind of wondering how during launch that may come apart, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Is now that this is built, we're going to do some things with it using the augmented reality app called HP Reveal. It used to be called Erasma, so you want to download that for iPhone or Android. And just watch my screen now. I'm going to show you how to set that up and then what we're going to be doing with this. All right.
Hey guys, what you're looking at right now is a PowerPoint file where it's basically got one image per slide with some voiceover recording audio file right here. And what we've done is we've scanned in a few different pages of the Saturn V rocket's Lego build manual, where it had some images on one page, and we also had 2 pages of a schematic showing off the rocket, and then we also had a timeline showing us the journey to the moon of the rocket. So these images got scanned in by me, and then we manipulated them a little bit in PowerPoint, where we either put one per slide, or in the case at the end, this image got put together and then put over one slide, and same with this schematic here. What we're doing next is trying to make an automatic running slideshow that, because it's got audio and because it's got images, we want it to play seamlessly and automatically for us. So what we need to do is set up some automatic transitions slide by slide, and then also set up some controls to the audio files to make sure that they play automatically. So essentially the thing to do is, once you finish recording for each slide, you want to look at your audio file and see how long it is. In this case, this one's just under 10 seconds. So that means on this slide's transition properties, we want to make sure that it advances after, and then in this case 10 seconds, because that's how long is slightly longer than the audio file. I do that for every single one of these slides. In this case, the audio file is just under 9 seconds, so my transition is 9 seconds. And once I've done that and applied it to every single one of the slides, the thing that you want to do for each one of your audio clips is make sure that under playback settings that they play back automatically, and then hide during show means that the icon won't show up upon a slideshow or some kind of playback, which is exactly what we want as well. On these last two slides, this one is simply an image that's got an animation that wipes left to right over a certain couple seconds. And in this one, because the image had so much information at once, it could be a little overwhelming to reveal all of that to someone all at once. So instead, we have a couple audio recordings that, as things are said, they reveal what ends up being put onto the slide. So once all of that stuff is set up, you're going the extra mile if you want to add some background music. And YouTube has a free audio library. So if you went over to YouTube and went under the audio library settings, you can find free music to use. And I found something with some filters applied and downloaded this and then dropped it into the first slide of my presentation. On this one, under the playback settings, I do play in background, and that automatically kicks in that it'll hide it during show, play across the slides, and loop until stopped. So now it doesn't really matter if this one is shorter in length than the overall length of the presentation, because it'll keep playing and it'll always play in the background. So we essentially have all the makings and settings of creating a video from this. So all you need to do next is under File, if you go to Export, you can actually select a Create a Video option. And what's neat is you actually have a few different quality settings that you can apply. In our case, because you're doing it through a phone, low quality is going to be fine. It's nice though that you don't really have to choose. You could just come back and do the export settings for a variety of different ones for you. But in our case, 480p is going to be just fine. That's when I do create video, and what ends up happening is you create a file that looks a little bit like this, where you have a bunch of different automatic slides coming in every few seconds, dropping into the video, displaying the information, and then when we get to the end, you're seeing how over time these get revealed as the information is being said from the recording that you've made. So that's our first video that we're now going to code into the HP Reveal app. So let's get going on that now.
Okay guys, so I'm on the Google Play Store and I want to put in HP Reveal to download this formerly Erasma augmented reality app. So I already have that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the app, and it may ask you to sign in. You don't have to create an account, but if you plan on doing these a bit, you may want to. So now what I would like to do is hit the plus sign and create a new one. It's asking me to take a photo. So I'm back here at the table. The first part of the kit is now done. So what I'm going to do is make sure that this is in a well-lit area, and because I want to make sure this works not just for me but for others, I'm going to try to put this on as neutral a background as possible. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo of it, try to get as much of this in the frame as possible. And now it's asking me to choose an overlay, and I can do from the existing ones in their gallery, but I'm going to go to my device. I'm going to hit upload, and I can either do something right now with my camera or go to my gallery. So what I've done is I've taken, oh, excuse me, and then I either can show a photo or a video with this overlay. And we just created a video using the first few pages of the instruction manual. So I'm gonna take this video and make sure, call it something like Saturn rocket stage 1 reveal. Do done.
On May 25th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy challenged his country to safely send and
I'm hitting next. I'm gonna put Saturn V rocket 1 reveal and do submit. I'm gonna put it in public so that this then works for other people. Nice, and I'm just gonna hit done, and now it's there. So, in theory, now that this has been complete, I should be able to now use the app, and right away it recognizes it.
On May 25th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy challenged his country to safely send and return an American to the moon before the end of the decade.
So there we go, we've coded the first one.
NASA met that challenge with the Apollo program. It would be the first time human beings left Earth's orbit and visited another world.
It's pretty cool. So now we're gonna do the others. And now Alright guys, that's it. I've completed it. Look at this thing, it's so big. It's almost as long as my table. 337 steps, 1,969 pieces, and a pleasure to build. It took me about 6 hours. And okay guys, we're done coding everything. There's the rocket in pieces on the table. And I wanted to show you guys what we had come up with. So hopefully this will all work. So let's start with the first one.
On May 25th, 1961, President John F.
The Apollo spacecraft was the incredible machine that allowed astronauts to walk on the moon. It was split up into 3 parts: the command module, the service module, came here to do, and now it's time to head home. Before takeoff, let's talk.
All
All right, so there you go, guys. That's how we've coded all sections of this rocket to be a different experience. Those 3 videos you saw here, here, and here are from a guy on YouTube that did an excellent couple series of videos, so I want to give him a big shout out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to see if these work when you scan your rocket, and also hope you enjoyed this experience. I certainly think it adds to learning more about the rocket. So thanks for watching.